onset, I would say, the early symptoms of something like dementia or memory loss. He had warned that his time on Earth was coming to a close as a projection of the egregore of justice. Clint Westwood is a seductive role for somebody trying to escape the memories of the life that they've lived. A simplistic cop, something of a family man, a well known face around the neighborhood, an easy sort of life for an individual who was at one point something of an executioner for the moon, a military man who experienced great trauma on the battlefield, fighting the forces of Earth as a representative of the moon, a man who had to face the strange truth behind his creation and the creation of his friends, all of it being a lead up to the sale of their reality, their dimension. To come face to face with the prototype for all of them, a figure known as Adamus Leroy, to overcome him, but to know that the black swan still flies, the clock still ticks, the sale may still be on. Who can say for certain? This figure, the one who is meant to sell the world, the Antichrist, has been split and fractured, recovering, working, perhaps even unknowingly towards that goal, that dark motivation. And in the middle of all of this, with humanity dealing with what could be a foreclosure on the planet Earth and the stars above, is the fledgling race of the merfolk. Those who have crawled from the sea, born from an eldritch abomination that is likely impossible to comprehend at this point, but who can say? Avicii, man of the stars, spawned forth all of you, and the opposition that you face in the form of the Daganites, who seek to adhere more to Avicii's vision with a religious fervor. All of this now feels like it's unfolded before you as you come to your senses at the Westwood compound, where a recovering Clint is no longer suffering from seizures, but has not returned to consciousness. The cold sweat and a pale face, he lies in recovery, a blanket draped over him, a pillow under his head. His daughter, who you have come to know as Alkesha, is currently tending to him, making sure that he, if he were to wake up, were to have a familiar face there, someone that he can trust. And all of you, as you return from the projection within Clint's psyche, return to a world where things seem almost bland in comparison at first. The sights, sounds, memories, and sensations that you felt while you were within that memory of Clint Westwood or Kev or whatever you want to call him, those things were sharpened, intensified. The experiences of a god, even if they originated when he was human, still have a lingering sort of electricity to them, one that continues to tingle in the senses once you return to consciousness standing there in the Westwood compound. The sight of a not dead, or at least not convulsing Clint should tell you that your mission was something of a success. Not to mention, Alkesha, for once, instead of looking angry and hostile, seems almost thankful, with tears in her eyes as she cradles her father in her arms. As you begin to come to, and as consciousness begins to take hold, you are once again yourselves. Um, how do you feel? Like how are you feeling coming out of like what is basically almost a shamanic vision or a divine kind of hallucination that you've had here? A sort of you have walked through the territory of the divine, if only for a brief second, and seen that the gods were rather flawed individuals before they became egregore.
Shocked that someone like Jeff Lynne is just an egotistical fool. At least in his youth, but it's not like the impression she got was much better.
So yeah, you can see you got firsthand knowledge experience that the same guy that you was telling you what to do, giving you visions, talking about putting a bomb in your head, was also just that guy, just a man.
Yeah, pretty infallible. Also, shocked that Clint was so different, like in that other life. Not as sensitive, it seems like.
Um, how about you, Ice Peak? What are you? How are you feeling after coming out of the vision of actually being Jeff Lynne and perhaps encountering the phantasm of the Black Swan?
Yeah, she's digesting that uh, they might be wanting to sell our reality, and that's something she can't. This is her home, and she won't let it be destroyed again. She knew that the Egregori were flawed already, feeling like they were like Poppy or Michael or any of Avicii's children, god of powers. So that didn't shock her as much as there are multiple realities and they are for sale.
That's true. You were not only enlightened to the fact that there are multiple realities, but even now, those of you who return to this consciousness, to this life, there is a lingering sense, aside from the electricity of the divine, that there are eyes upon you at times from distant areas, from corners, from the shadows. At any point, something could be watching you, and even envying all that you get to do and say and feel. Oh, welcome.
Sorry, everyone.
Oh, that's cool. Alkesha, seeing you all return, wipes the tears out of her eyes quickly. For some reason, it doesn't at all disturb her makeup. And just kind of checks at first, walking a little bit towards you to look you over. Are all of you okay? Did anyone get weird?
Define weird.
Yeah, I'm mostly still me. I met well, I met who I was playing, I guess. Who I was? Him, Lewis.
Lewis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
What was he doing here?
When Clint came down, descended, well, he told people not to follow. He kind of tried to keep it a secret, but the other gods, of course, would become aware eventually. For them, this amount of time has been an hour, maybe 2. His entire lifespan is just cut down that short to a god, but to us, Obviously, it's been decades. So it took a moment, but some of them began to notice, and he wasn't too hard to find. Likely they were just here to gently coax him to come back, or at least give him a little closure. If you saw Lewis, then that's likely what he was doing.
Oh, weird. Huh.
They think that they're slick, so if you happen to run into them, it's probably better to just pretend or play dumb.
I mean, I didn't know who he was before, but now I really should have paid attention to the mustache.
He's still using that? God, what a nerd. She just shakes her head, slightly embarrassed.
Out of character, it would make sense that Mikey would be able to pick up on that, but I don't know if Anya would notice. Even I think his costuming might be okay, just enough for her.
I don't think any of us but Mikey saw Lewis originally.
Nah, Anya's spoken to Lewis.
Oh, really?
I'll be honest with all of you. The threats that you saw in there, the thing that even put a scar on his psyche like that, I'm not sure any egregore is invincible to that. They could all be vulnerable. Right now, Clint's the most exposed, being that he's just a projection here to my father. But in the future, if that thing were to find a vulnerability in the gods, it could lay down similar scars, carve their psyche to pieces, and it wouldn't end there. The egregore are one of the top layers of humanity's psychosphere, which is really just a way to say that they're standing on the foundation of humanity's thoughts, their souls, their spirits. If something happens to them like this, if all of them were to fall, there would be nothing to protect humanity at all from a terrible psychic attack, a cosmic threat, anything.
They wish to parcel this land up and sell it for, I am unsure, the currency of other dimensions.
Experience, I can imagine. I mean, I mean that's the only thing that really comes to mind for me is just like if you can't use money, then experience maybe.
Experience. Like qualia. I should return to the moon. There's people that need to be warned about all of this. But I can't leave without him. And he won't leave until this trial happens. So for the good of, well, everyone that exists, this trial needs to be carried out, and Director Elfman needs to be brought to justice so that my father can at least feel some sense of closure. If this stays open, if Director Elfman walks away free, or if justice is perverted, I'm afraid of what he'll do. I'm afraid of the darker tendencies that he had coming back, and of what sort of age might come next. So, no pressure.
This is the moon's fault. What is just one crown of Avicii isn't gonna undo the Antichrist? Why is that our priority?
Well, to put it lightly, belief is a powerful thing. Faith is a miracle. Believing in something makes it strong and real, at least according to them. Right now, the Antichrist is winning because people are losing faith in these things, these pillars that the egregori represent: justice, order, even life itself. If people don't have faith in those things, the power of the egregori will wane and they'll become soft targets. On the other hand, if they try to directly intervene, if they try to do signs and miracles, there could be things waiting down here to poison them, to hurt them, to kill them. They are just as vulnerable and dependent on humanity as humanity is on them. So, to put it lightly, I guess, if you don't want the Antichrist to win, egregori are probably your best bet.
Anya looks a little unsatisfied with that.
So, how do we strike against this Antichrist then? I mean, like, seems pretty rough for a bunch of people who are just kind of cops.
Right now, probably just dealing with whatever machinations he's trying to unfold, whatever plans he's plotting, whatever power he's trying to grasp, any laws he's trying to circumvent. More importantly, any attempts that he makes at trying to seize power, trying to direct humanity's thoughts, trying to subvert their own will and replace it with his own, that sort of thing. Right now, if I were to gauge the situation, it seems like most people just aren't aware. Those who protest against Dorobo find themselves silenced, missing, that sort of thing. How do you fight evil? Is a question you should be asking yourself. Is it with your fists? With your words? Heart? What do you do?
Are you asking us, or is that a rhetorical kind of...
Not rhetorical. It's something that we've had to actually do more than once. If you don't feel up to it, if you're feeling overwhelmed, I can understand that. Maybe somebody else will come along and do the job for you.
I'm just shocked. Thinking. Right now, it seems like Dorbo has too much influence and power built up. Too many alliances. Director Elfman was helping that along, even if he was advancing his own supposed agendas, so... Sure, put him away.
She makes a good point about the alliances, but maybe that's where we begin, unraveling his alliances bit by
Exactly.
bit.
See, I knew you were smarter than you looked. She kind of like tries to manage a laugh, but then is just using it as an excuse to wipe a tear from her eye. There aren't too many heroes left. Egregori are just locked in their different pursuits and passions and obsessions and tasks.
Do you have tasks?
Yeah, they make the trains run on time is probably not the right way to put it, but yes, they make sure that things are in order somewhat. The human mind can only stretch so far, of course. They're aided and assisted, boosted by the psychosphere, but they're still underneath it all human.
I mean,
Sort of.
I find that a little hard to believe, but I'll take your word for it.
What's gonna happen with him?
For now, I'll just make sure that he's recovering and safe. it's possible that there may be a way to heal him and get his mind back in order, but until I figure anything out, I'll just have to be his babysitter, which is really lame. An adult child probably should expect to have to care for their parent at some point. I just didn't think it would happen like this. Little weird.
Well, sometimes life just comes at you fast.
Can you prevent more psychic damage?
I can do what I can do. So maybe it's hard to say. The attack began while I was here. I didn't see anything or anyone. Is there anything that you might have learned while you were in there that could maybe help?
Well,
Ah,
what do you mean? Like, there were a lot of little things here and there, but
I do not think that your opponent is trapped by time as linear.
Right.
Do you know of a pair of blue eyes?
Blue is the color of the egregory of order. They all have it, even him. You saw a pair of blue eyes, then I guess that all lines up.
It was from the one before, I believe.
She looks back at Clint and just kind of stares. I don't know quite what that means, other than the thing that you're likely dealing with is a corruption of what they believed in. Is there anything like a weakness or
well,
anything I can work with here?
it didn't seem like it enjoyed rain. Like, if I remember correctly, it said there were too many permutations, too many possibilities. A drop could go one way, but it could also go 5 different ways.
Have you met Maddie?
Yeah, I've talked to her a little. She's weird but sweet.
Consider training her. She controls the reins in some manner.
There is one thing that comes to mind when you mention probability. At some point, you may want to look into the harmonizers here in the city and ask around to see if there are any pranksters. They'll know what you mean.
Why pranksters?
Among the egregori, there's one that is considered a heretic. I don't think that I'd be able to directly contact him, but maybe one of his followers has some sort of link. An egregori by the name of Jodeci. Kind of a master of chaos, which is, again, why heresy. Completely contradictory to what we represent. Just be careful, because among heretical followers, there were also followers of the others. Jason the Wolf, Germanata the Monster, Palazzo, who's just a waste of time.
I have met the Wolfsman.
Really?
She nods slowly.
He's a serial killer. So I wouldn't really trust anything he has to say.
Well, he did kill me 10 times, so I assume so.
Be very careful. Comes to dealing with them, you might as well be dealing with demons as far as I'm concerned.
That's nice of you to give us warning.
I feel like all of this could also be helped if DZ could be contacted, but she's missing. Egregore of Curses. Something's really wrong. There's somebody pulling the wool over all of our eyes. So, if you need assistance, I can back you up, maybe. Otherwise, you are police, just like me, in a way. Trust that you'll be able to carry out your duties and keep this world and the city and everyone somewhat safe sometimes, most of the time. It's not easy. Trust me. I had to beat up actual alien greys one time. Just...
What?
I know, long story. It's crazy being in law enforcement. Oh, one more thing. I don't know that I should really do it, but hunting down Santa Gold seems like it would be a priority worth pursuing at some point. So if anyone's ever interested, I'm always game for a bounty hunt. It's not like he'll be hard to find, I'm sure. Big dumb idiot.
Well, why do you think that's worthwhile? Like, I mean, I know he's definitely doing unlawful things, so he should probably be apprehended, but compared to world-ending threats, he seems more like a bit of a small speck.
Well, how do I say this?
He's just a human merfolk, from what I understand. Right?
Not quite. He is of the same kind as Avicii. That is, a Starman. Before Avicii turned into what he is, he was like Santa Gold. So if you need assistance against, well, any of Avicii's unfriendlier children, or any kind of scientific analysis, it's likely Santa Gold could provide some sort of sample or insight into certain things, including how to even advance your own abilities. As long as he's running around pretending to be a teenager on a binge party fest or whatever it is that he's doing, spring break, I don't know. As long as he's doing that, he's useless. And quite frankly, if I'm being honest, trying to take him in physically for me would probably result in a lot of collateral damage, we'll say. He can reflect my laser shots. Not good. It's kind of all I got going for me. I mean, I could probably do a couple trick shots and make something fall on his head, but you've seen him. He's made out of metal.
All right. I mean, that's something to put on our to-do list.
Yeah, we'll seek him out.
I know it seems like it's overwhelming. Like there's a lot of things, and right now in the main view, there's just the Antichrist ready to sell things off. But if I could be candid with you for a moment, just because it's good to blow off steam and vent, there have been countless potential catastrophes in the expanse of time, really, since you've been born, created, whatever you want to call it. There have been threats just lurking all at the edges, kind of at all times. It's not easy having that sort of view. It's stressful. In some cases, it drives people to flee their responsibilities. In others, they retreat into whatever strange mania or fascination they have, and some have even completely shed any hint of their mortal form and become something more like a concept. So I don't expect you to really pack it away and just put it on your planner. These are things to be taken in steps, is what I've learned. My specialty, she points to the small woman sitting on her shoulder, her stand, is reflection and angles. So if you can't hit a target from the front, you bounce it off a wall, the floor, moving object, that sort of thing. You guys are going to have to play it the same way, I imagine. Taking something head on isn't going to really land. Attacking from different angles and ricocheting is the way to go, I'm sure. Unless you really do want to brute force, in which case, good luck. It applies to legal stuff too. It wasn't always easy enforcing the law. Sometimes you do have to go at a different angle. You know, like getting somebody to flip and provide testimony, or give you the names or locations of smugglers and smuggled goods, that sort of thing, so that you can start to crack down the system from a small point, just working in that one little fissure. Even a termite can bring a house down that way.
Yeah, now that I think about it, my mind was racing so much to how to destroy this Sunny Fortuna. But now that we got to see where he's coming from, I think it might even be more possible maybe to befriend him.
Friendship. Oh God, that's going to cause another... You know what? It worked for the survivors. I don't know why it wouldn't work for you. Just be careful. They almost fell into a trap thinking that they could make friends with their greatest enemy. And as a result, there's still people on the moon that are statues living in a dream world.
She's gonna rub her face. Humans have a saying, something about keep your enemies close, or your friends close. How does it go?
Your enemies, closer friends.
Friends
Wait.
close and your enemies closer, I guess.
A friend in the hand is worth two in the bush.
I don't think that that's how that goes.
Well, I am used to looking at things at many angles. It comes naturally.
Of course. You guys kind of weird me out sometimes when you talk about how you're like got the weird body stuff going on. It's a little gross. But I can't judge. I'm sure humans are gross to you. We can't even grow our arms and legs back.
This is more sorrowful.
Sorrowful that we can't just eat them, if I'm really honest.
Oh,
Too honest.
a little too honest. So I
Yeah, what?
understand your sentiment.
Oh, come on. You
Nope.
all haven't thought it.
I
No.
have restricted my diet for reasons.
Please don't eat anyone. I don't feel like I should need to ask that, especially the big shark guy. I've been thinking about that since I first saw him. Don't eat anyone. Don't bite anyone's head or arm off. I guess unless it's self-defense. Jeez. I'm not your boss, so I can't tell you what to do. Speaking of boss, is there something weird happening with your police chief?
Oh yeah. He's like cooked up in his office pretty much all the time now.
No, he was
He's
replaced
also eating
with
meat.
cannibal.
Yeah, like
He's a
like
cannibal.
human flesh.
Which is real weird. I don't think that was ever in the job listing.
Cannibal. Well, I just got a call from him checking in on Clint. But he didn't sound right. It just struck me as kind of...
What do you mean? Like, how do you say it? I guess.
He kept repeating himself as if he were practicing lines. Like in different intonations and speeds.
That's
Creeped me out.
That sounds like the new chief.
Like a person pretending to be human.
Something like that. So you might want to be careful.
Oh, we have several. Just like pinches the bridge of her nose. Yes, we'll be careful.
You should probably get ready for that trial. If there's anything I can do or questions I can answer, I'll do my best. Otherwise, I'm just stuck here on nurse duty. God, I'm the art sheriff of the moon. This is humiliating. Can I just pay for a caretaker or something?
Please remember you may train Madison in way of fight.
That's going to be a little difficult because, to be honest, she kind of reminds me of a scared little forest animal. So I don't know what her fighting spirit is like.
Yeah, what are you talking about? Maddie's not fighting anyone.
If one day we need rain, I would like her more than just stand there and get killed.
She's not getting killed.
Obviously, we must protect, but training would be advantageous. And it is Sheriff of Moon. I do not know. She just sit on her ass. I think it would be beneficial if these two came together.
I don't want to just sit on my ass, trust me. If I could solve this problem by just going into that courthouse, both guns blazing, I'd do it and just get in a UFO and go home.
Well, teach Maddie how to guns.
Why are you being ridiculous over this whole training Maddie to kill? She's just a scared girl.
Do you think only weakness of the devil would not be killed if he found out she exists?
The weakness of the... What are you talking about?
She can sing to bring rain. He is weak to rain.
She can do that from afar, from what I can tell.
She will nonetheless be targeted.
If she's targeted, I'll be in the way.
I speak smiles. That is what I like about you.
Out of character, the DM stepped away. So,
Oh. Crash, cannoli getting into something?
No, you left something on the stove and,
Uh-oh.
Telling me
Yeah, I get it!
My water. It burned out of the pan, all cooked out. Haha. Sorry about that. I had to go catch it real quick. Yes, you were both talking about the vulnerability of the rain.
yeah, and you were saying that she can do it from afar. Shouldn't need to train her, and you will get in the way.
And you will protect her, she says.
Yeah, basically the gist of it, yeah.
Maybe we could split the difference there, officer, if you want to try to help to train Enya. If you want to help to train Maddie. That way you can kind of teach her what you think she needs to know, and I'll take up the rest. Besides, it'd probably be good for you guys to actually get to know this, well, whatever she is. Some kind of weird... Well, I probably shouldn't say too much about it.
No, go ahead, finish that thought. Weird what?
There's a theory that some of the harmonizers have that Carolina, the main goddess of the moon for a long, long time, is not the permanent figure of, well, the age. That there's a new age coming. Someone will stand up and be the person who starts it, leads it, whatever you want to call it. Some people are theorizing that with the rise of the merfolk, it's the age of Aquarius that's next.
And there is no fish person god except for Avicii.
Vigi's not really a god, but if there was an age of Aquarius and it did happen to turn that way, then I guess he would be the default. He could become one, honestly, but that's all theory. Not even the egregore themselves really know what will happen. They're close to heaven, but they don't have a direct line into, well, all of that.
I don't know what this. Those are just rumors. There's no holy book or anything. It just seems like nonsense to me.
Holy books don't seem like nonsense to you? Have you read one before?
Nope.
Really? Not even the Bible or anything? Quran? Nothing? Torah?
No.
Bhagavad Gita?
I have read multiple, and they are nonsense.
There you go. She knows.
Well, apparently whatever prophesied this whole Antichrist thing seems to be hitting some marks. I'm just saying, if it's just these wackadoo harmonizers talking amongst themselves, it's not much to go on saying that there's some sort of Age of Aquarius bringer on.
Don't you feel it? Haven't you noticed? I know you're young, just barely here on the world on dry land, but humanity's changing. Things are moving. Forces are acting. Everything sort of took note when the egregore took over. Though it could be that maybe for a long time there's been that sort of change coming since the spiral appeared in 2011. A little bit of lore. I know it's a God, I feel so weird calling you guys kids, but I guess you are. It was before your time. Somebody fucked things up. The world's been in a little bit of a tailspin. People became gods to try to stop it. And now, Act 2. Does that make sense? Probably not. It's okay. This is why I stick to just shooting things.
This sounds like the plot of a weird movie.
He also considers it a play.
It is definitely a weird thing I've noticed. Some of the stories about, well, prior Threat on the Moon stand by the name of Golden Echo. Also seem to direct things or try to create scenes to try and weave a narrative. Just call it a philosophical observation, I guess. If you're actors in a play, then just do your part, be law people. It'll work out, probably, or not. Maybe it'll just be a tragedy where you just, get shot down in your cruiser on your day before retirement.
So, and if we don't play our part?
Everyone plays a part. Just matters which part you want to play. Choose to just be inactive or not participate, then you're an extra. You can just always go back to a nice, normal, quiet life, forget all of this. That's always an option.
I have a home to protect.
If you want to stand up and get things, well, in order, if you want to have an effect on the world, if you want to do anything, sometimes you just have to forget that you're just a small piece.
I will start availing myself of the weaknesses I can find.
Some of the egregore just started out as, well, people like you, in a way. Well, they were, humans, but they were just travelers, friends. scientists, activists. Then they got the power to do what they needed to do, and they ended up somewhat pretty powerful. Very powerful. I know it may not seem like it right now, but they are doing their best. Not that I expect any of you to become gods or anything. It's a rather tall order. I think we have enough.
Okay. You know what? Maybe this is something I should embrace. This age of Aquarius that is trying to be ushered in. I like it. The end of the old way of humans just doing whatever they want, acting like they're the only ones that have a right to anything on this world. You just step on whoever they want, use and buy and sell and own anyone. Well, there's a new life. And I think we can do something about all of this, probably.
I guess that's the spirit.
This world doesn't just belong to humans. It never did. I don't know about the moon, but isn't Avicii from the moon?
That's a complicated story, but through some research and what little we could track about it, no, actually, Avicii is from Earth, sort of. Rather, his father of sorts was from Earth, an entity that was called Kars. Kars was, well, something like a god, till he got ejected out into the void of space, broke off into several chunks. One of them was Avicii. Another one was called Stephen Wonder. He's just a head in a jar, that Stephen guy. Don't worry about that one. And there are a few others that were kind of born from either one of them. The Starmen created, sort of. Like Santa Gold. All just fragments of one great, enormous asshole, as far as I can tell from the records. Kars was not a good guy.
What did Kars want?
To become the supreme life form of the planet. And he kind of achieved it. I mean, look at all of you. Adaptable, strong, regenerative. Now you've even got stands. In the end, maybe he did win. Guess we'll see how it turns out for humanity.
We should probably prepare for this trial.
I don't know how much help I can be with Earth law, but I can tell you that the attorney that Clint has as a friend is extremely experienced in pretty much all legal matters. He didn't just pick her out of a phone book. Like, he had faith in her. See, there's that word again.
If justice has chosen her, we will have faith in her.
Good. Good first step. You can all just... Well, I'll be here.
Can I leave Maddie here with you a little longer?
I think so.
I'll be back for her.
I want to say that I think that she has some sort of protection. So she'll be fine. I think. I know none of that makes any sense. It doesn't matter. Just point and click at whatever you want to kill. That's my way of thinking.
Enya's peering her eyes at her. That doesn't follow.
Trusting in fate and divine intervention sometimes doesn't work out, but a gun does. It works until it misfires. I guess that counts. Just saying. It's good to count on there being some sort of protection, whatever it is that she has, but it's not invincibility. So what I'm saying is she'll be safe, but if you ever notice a threat or think that something's creeping up or trying to attack her in particular, it's probably good to just kill it right away. Including your Antichrist buddy.
Is he our buddy? She's gonna look to Ice Peak.
I speak winces. He is looking to make us employees. I do not know if that is friendship.
I'm sure you misunderstood him.
Probably not. If he's got the same heritage as the rest of them, then no, it probably isn't a misunderstanding at all. They're all corporate powerhouses. Even my father. Best man in the corporate security game.
Everything he knows, it was programmed into him. It seems like.
That's a base, a foundation. Just the same way that you guys came out with, well, some of the things that you had. The ability to fight, the ability to change your bodies, the ability to, well, do superhuman feats of strength and speed. All of them were made with the superhuman ability to run a corporation very well, including an incorporated nation. You likely saw and experienced for yourself what that was like. The ability to quickly perform acts, come up with ideas to lead and guide, that sort of thing. I would say after some point, Mikey, you get a call.
Oh, excuse me. He'll walk out and take it.
Caller on the ID is your buddy, Rust.
Okay. Hi, Russ. What's going on?
We should review some of the information that is to be presented at the trial, which I have learned is to be a shadow court trial. We must seize the opportunity. Seize it.
Okay. Yeah.
Seize the opportunity.
Okay, we will. We were just wrapping up here. Did you need me to bring anything back for you?
I'm going to need to review some of the forensic evidence and the way that it's been cataloged in the system to ensure that it's all lined up properly before it's submitted to the court and placed into trial evidence.
Okay, I'll get that from Ice Peak. Did you need anything else? I know you get a lot of stuff delivered to the apartment, but
No, do you know any motivational quotes?
I mean, hang in there. There's always that cat poster. I see it.
Did you hear a few clicks? Hang in there, cat. Oh! Yes, this will do. Thank you. And he hangs up.
Okay.
Yeah, Mikey would come back in.
I speak. Rust wants to go over the all the evidence for the case and how it was categorized. Especially the physical evidence. So we need to probably get that going.
Yes, I'm sure this will be a complicated case.
I mean, to say the least.
Most likely really, really annoying. I mean,
Oh yeah, definitely.
jeez. Well,
But I mean, I guess we don't need sleep, so that's nice. We can just work on this.
Is there anywhere you guys would want to go, or anything you want to check in on before you go back to the police station?
Maddie is here, right?
Yeah, she's here.
Yeah, should we just say hi and goodbye to her real quick, I guess?
Yeah, I feel like we probably should, right?
Yeah.
We were
Okay.
just told we need to spend time with her, and instead we're just gonna be like,
Goodbye!
well, that doesn't really match up for me, so.
Maddie is currently in the gym of the complex. She is. Let's see. Where's her token? There she is. She is currently. She's doing some training with Killer LP. You can see she has giant boxing gloves on. There is like some music playing over a radio as she is just kind of weakly punching at Killer LP, who has his hands up. He's trying to teach her how to box.
Oh no, it's cute.
Maddie just spins around as she tries to punch at Killer LP, missing entirely, and then just falls over and collapses to the ground. Killer LP just slaps his hands together. Come on! You punch like a cop! She struggles to get up and then sees that you guys are there. Killer LP kind of like points at your group. Yeah, like them over there. Your girl here has some pretty good moves. Of course, she also has the arms of wet spaghetti. Weak! He puts his hand on Maddie's head and begins to turn her around, just spin her, while she's trying to reorient herself, and then he just chuckles.
I am glad to see your training.
Yeah, how you been, Maddie?
He stops her spinning, and she just kind of stumbles for a moment. This music is loud, and I'm sweaty, and I had to eat eggs for breakfast. I don't like eggs.
eggs are good for you, though.
Please, no more eggs. Did someone say eggs?
Yeah, he probably gave you too many.
Killer LP pulls. There's a small cart in the room. He pulls the sheet off of it to reveal it's just a giant stainless steel bowl of hard-boiled eggs. Lunchtime! Let's go! Protein! And then he just starts shoveling them into his own mouth, just like by the fistful. Maddie looks like her face is literally turning green as she starts to stumble away. No more eggs, please.
Oh yeah, no, we can get you something to eat. I'll get a to-go order from Plastic Beach.
I would like She rubs her chin. Um. Tuna salad.
Okay. Yeah. Is there anything else you want?
A cup of water. Small cup with with ice.
Okay.
2 crackers.
Okay. Do you want like the oyster pack crackers or actual crackers? I don't know which ones they have. I guess I'll just put it in like the note.
But can I have both?
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. She just like nods her head and starts punching her gloves together. All right, round 2. And then she just starts wailing on Killer LP's midsection, but it's like it does nothing to him.
Maybe I should just get her a gun. Thanks for trying to train her.
I'm not just trainer, I'm her bodyguard. Now that I got this rockin' new stand called Ticketron! He like pulls back and flexes a muscle, and you see a giant robotic arm with almost a cash register for a fist and like tickets printing out of the knuckles as it like makes several ka-ching noises. You can see that the tickets being printed out are to the gun show. Who wants some?
What is this gun show?
Come on and find out.
I go and take one ticket.
I go and take another ticket.
You now possess a ticket to the gun show.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
Killer LP just flexes, and you can see his stand flexing behind him. It's larger, just as muscular, and has flashing eyes that look like stop signs or stoplight sign like lights. Like one's red and one's green. He's just flexing at you angrily. Urgh!
So what is the gun show? And how do we redeem this?
Guess you'll have to find out. Normally, this would be the part where I give you the beatdown, but Maddie probably would cry if I beat up her little friend, so even though you're cops, I'll let this one slide. Not like I care much about making a little girl cry. Urgh! He just flexes again.
You are a good teacher, though.
How about I teach you in the School of Hard Knocks? He's flexing like dramatically at you, Claudia.
That's cute.
No, but really, how does this work?
Uh,
I would say just keep it. Don't worry about it for right now.
my stand called Ticketron. Well, it makes tickets to stuff. For instance, I can give you a ticket to a flight and then punch your ass into the stratosphere. So if it's a ticket to the gun show, probably will get you an entrance to something involving guns. Or maybe I just rapid fire punch someone. Hard to say. I'm not really sure what stands do or why they exist. I just know I feel buff as fuck.
Would you be able to use a ticket to get Maddie out of harm's way in an emergency?
Maybe. I don't know. Guess I'll have to try it out sometime. Like a ticket to safety or... I don't know. Look, I don't really... He just starts scratching his head while he's talking to you. I don't really think about all that sort of shit.
And then you could just have a ticket to like a movie ahead of time. I'm not sure how you redeem it though.
It's easy. Theoretically, if I were to give my little brothers tickets to the movies, they'd be able to go. Or the circus, if they were to request that and that was popular among them. Just like that. Prints out tickets. Simple.
That does seem simple. It makes sense that something so simple would come out of a knucklehead like you.
Hey, what do you mean by that? He starts flexing at you.
She starts laughing and she snatches a ticket for herself. Yeah.
Just don't tell anyone where you got him. I know you're cops, but resist the temptation to snitch on your source.
Hey, I need you around, so...
I don't snitch on those sources.
I will resist.
It's good. Maybe one of these days you evolve from being pigs into proper merfolk. God, I love flexing so much!
Have you considered that it might hurt your muscles a little if you keep doing it?
Merman regeneration means I could tear and stress these muscles as much as I want and be ready for another set in a minute or less. It's the ultimate workout supplement. Humans are weak. They can't get these gains. Such gains are beyond them.
I don't know about that, dear.
Don't you? Look at this. He hooks one finger under the back of Maddie's collar, his pinky finger, and just lifts her up slowly. Behold, I'm not even straining.
Okay, but she's like, what, 150 pounds, maybe?
Wrong! She's 100 pounds because she's malnourished. He starts waving her around a little and she just flops around while trying to swing her fist.
Put her down, man.
Not until she promises to eat these eggs!
She doesn't have
Doesn't-
to eat the eggs if she doesn't want to.
Yeah, I think she's had enough eggs.
She's
Maddie-
underweight!
Maddie, do keep in mind your limbs are stretchable, so you can better reach his face if you learn your
Oh, yeah,
natural
like this.
control.
And immediately Mikey will like a Tex Avery cartoon, like just his arm just pulls back, and then just like a sticky hand just slaps like the air by LP.
LP slowly lowers Maddie to the ground.
Just like that, Maddie. Sorry.
He reaches out towards you, Mikey.
Ah,
He grabs you by the wrist and just starts pulling to see how far it'll stretch.
I would say he gets probably a good distance, because I feel like if anything, it's one of those things where like other parts of his body start getting like shorter as he's just letting more material like pull.
Once
Like
he's
his one arm just kind of disappears, and as it just keeps stretching.
once he's got it far enough, he says, "Watch this. I used to do this to make the kids laugh, but with balloons." And then he blows into your thumb, inflating your arm momentarily, just like a balloon.
Yeah.
And then he drops it. No, at first he ties the finger, like he just-
ow.
and then he drops it. So you have
You didn't
one
have to-
balloon arm.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah, he stretches it back, and as he stretches it back, yeah, there is this like, I guess it's probably even worse because it would just be like actual flesh, just like just letting out air and like you could see, you know, like his skin kind of flapping as his arm like readjusts back to the normal length, and so it's like his other arm like comes back out of his sleeve.
You
Well, not like
hear
cartoony, like he still has control over it. It's just, yeah, he's just letting the excess air out.
the smallest kind of almost chirping noise. Just
That was weird, LP. You didn't have to blow into it. I gotta just... We can adjust our physical property.
And he just like, he makes his one arm really goofy big and just makes it smaller again. Just
We could just do that. I didn't know you were doing a bit.
Maddie is desperately trying to hide a laugh from seeing just basically what is like a living cartoon. Yeah.
you just watch a cartoon, some Three Stooges level shit. Yeah, Mikey would turn his head and look at her and give like a thumbs up. Just
It's okay to laugh. Like, that was ridiculous. You didn't...
She does start laughing. She it's just it's a very gentle laugh. It's like chimes almost. Um, she is embarrassed that she found any of that funny. You can tell because she like immediately lifts her chin and tries to look a little bit more adult. Oh, do you guys not see the Maddie token?
No.
I don't.
I've probably got to make some adjustments, but no, it's a thing that from an error on the. It's such a
Is it the
stupid
death
thing to have to.
error again?
I think so. I don't know why she was marked with it.
That's weird.
Yeah. That's okay, because we have actual token that I can drag out if I can find. Giant Maddie.
She took Maki's lessons hard and made herself giant.
Yeah.
She just keeps laughing and
She her laughter is like it's strangely softening. Even Killer LP kind of like lets his shoulders go slack a little and says, "Come on. You're supposed to not you're supposed to be older than that. You're laughing like a kid or something."
Aw.
But yeah, that's where she is. While he's been basically LP was kind of like training her while you guys were doing that to get her mind off of what was going on and make sure that she was safe. She doesn't seem like she was generally too aware of what you guys were dealing with. But while she's here with Killer LP, she will, yes, practice her tiny little punches. They once she's finished laughing, she goes another round. This time trying to focus on uppercuts, weakly, really struggling to lift those heavy gloves. Even for a merfolk, she seems kind of weak. And now that Killer LP mentioned it, you can actually see she is she's a little bony. She hasn't been, she did, well, before you guys like kind of saved her from the trenches, it seemed that she must have been malnourished and eats only small amounts of food.
Can Enya, like, break up their training for a sec to put Maddie on the couch and, like, talk to her?
Sure.
Hey. Yeah, he is right. You are a little undernourished, it seems like. You know, not everyone has strength as, like, their best asset. Do you have any idea maybe what you feel like you might be really good at?
No? I don't know. I feel like I've never really been good at much. Which is weird because now everyone's just trying to treat me like I'm special, but I didn't have anything. I wasn't good at art or singing or athletics, or I barely was any good to steal food to survive, stay out of trouble.
We all come down from Avicii. Nothing? You don't have any poison to you, or maybe spikes come out somewhere?
I can breathe underwater.
Enya's gonna start, like, she's gonna reach out a hand, like, is it alright if I poke at you a little bit?
Okay, but like, I'm bruised. Not from Killer LP. It's because I fell a few times, a lot of times.
Yeah, no, just the team and I are gonna give you a look here. Can she like put her in like a T pose? Like get her arms out or lift it up?
Yeah, she looks very uncomfortable, but she's like Killer LP said, she is like very underweight. So yeah, she's just trying to move her around she's extremely light to you. She also looks very uncomfortable just posing. How long do I have to do this for?
Enya's like walking around her, giving her like a little poke in the back.
Eh.
Really?
She kind of stumbles a little.
How-
Yeah, you're all there, sure. I don't know.
You bruise often and it does not recover quickly?
It heals.
How long would you say is your heal period?
Couple days.
So as human you heal.
do you
I guess.
Fascinating.
Do you think that she's maybe not full merfolk?
I think she may be the first true half.
Half with what, do you think?
Half person, half merfolk? Is that not true? I believe you have said similar.
Yeah. I think one of my parents might have been, but I didn't want to really talk to anyone about that in the trenches because, that would be weird and nobody would believe it, and also somebody might beat me up.
It is good survival instincts, but I believe it.
I have gills and that I don't. I can look not human, I guess, but it's no, I'm not tough like you guys or Killer LP. Is that even his real name?
Probably not, but it is best to just say it is and move on.
Wait,
None of us have true name. We come to shore and choose one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yours has been a gift.
Someone gave it to me. Yeah.
Then you should cherish it.
No, who was it?
I don't know them. A parent. With the things that I had when I first started, well, living, I guess. Like really living with a memory and everything. Just sort of woke up on the street, a few things, bracelet with my name on it. Somebody stole it a long time ago.
You woke up on the street? That's your first memory?
Sort of. It was a beach, then the street. But all I remember is just slowly walking into an alleyway and sitting down and being cold. I had clothes, I had a little bit of money, and that bracelet. After that, it's just life as I know it. Up till now.
I thought you said you remembered having parents.
It's vague. I mean, it's like a dream, almost. I vaguely remember them, but
Oh, what were they like? I had parents here too.
I get the feeling my father was really big, like a giant.
A Leviathan?
I guess. Probably just kid stuff. You always see your parents as being bigger.
That could be a sign that maybe the father was a merman. But yeah, who could say? no lab comes to mind that I would trust to check on your DNA. I speak might be a little too busy, right?
I can multitask casually. But such blood drawing needs permissions.
You want to take my blood?
I am a bit afraid it could be dangerous due to your shedding of pearls, but if you would submit a blood test, I would be curious.
Okay. I'll give you a little bit, but you have to give it back.
I would be able to give samples back, yes, but I would not recommend putting it into your bloodstream.
She covers her mouth. I was joking.
She clears her throat and looks a little embarrassed. I see. I am amused.
You can have some blood, but yes, do be careful. The pearls are unpredictable. But I trust you.
Speak looks a little confused, but gently touches her head.
I just want to know if maybe she was... there's so many moving parts in play here. I just want to know if she's natural or some sort of runaway project thing.
I don't know. It's not a mystery that I really have to solve. I don't think.
It's not. You just have to be yourself.
That's what I'm trying to be. And eventually, I'll even maybe be a good boxer.
I hope you will continue your training, including eating of eggs.
You don't have to eat that many eggs. There are other protein alternatives.
Her face starts to turn green again. As soon as you say eggs.
I'll send you a list.
Perhaps not in that amount, but the nutrients you need to require becoming an adequate boxer. Nonetheless, there are alternatives. I will let you talk to Mikey. She walks away quickly, slides away, embarrassed.
Mike, you probably have a list of for, I don't want to call them vegan gains, but
Yeah, he would know what actual plants are good, lentils, beans, things like that in terms of what plants you can eat to acquire protein, various powders and things you can add and sprinkle in.
yeah, if you give her a list like that, she's staring at it like she's reading it, but she's in her head, you can tell she's paralyzed by trying to understand what the fuck she's looking at. She's never heard of some of these powders and stuff.
I mean, I can order some of it, if you like.
Okay. Yeah, I trust you. I trust all of you, so I'm sure it will be tasty. Thank you for that. But this, I understand. She looks at the list. Yep. Spirulina. That sounds great. I'll take 2.
Okay, yeah.
You can see that in the background as you're talking about vegan gains. Killer LP is just growing increasingly larger and buffer, as if his natural defense against veganism is just increasing. But he doesn't say anything. He seems to be reluctant to interfere here. Any nutrition that she gets is probably good, so he's just kind of seething.
Hey, if you guys didn't mind, I did want to follow up on that idea that the Arch-Sheriff gave us. The one about tracking down a harmonizer that might be into heretic worship or whatever.
Okay, yeah, we can, we know where they hang out. We can We can try and see who if anybody might know something.
Yeah, worth a shot.
All right. So, yeah, Maddie will be here. Obviously training. Eventually, maybe she'll get that vegan food supplement kit from Green Apron. For the rest of you, I guess we can split up kind of who wants to pursue what. So obviously that's one vote for looking for a harmonizer. Mikey's probably going to get railroaded into the trial shit.
Yeah, I've got. I now have to work with Russ to sort and organize all of our stuff.
What about the rest of you? Where would you like to put your characters? You can either kind of work with De La Cruz on his getting the evidence for his trial together, or you can go with Enya to follow the lead, or if there's anything else you'd like to do before this trial.
I speak like both options, but I believe she's required for the evidence.
Sure.
Okay.
All those matters will be handled kind of like in summary so that we can get to the trial itself. So I'll just put you guys over here. How about Claudia and Blue? Where do you guys want to focus your efforts? Towner by default will be going with Enya because he's Towner and he's an NPC till our real Towner gets back.
Yeah.
But where do you guys want to focus your efforts? It doesn't have to be on either one of those things. It's just two angles that your team is working on right now. Like, what's Claudia feeling motivated about doing?
She's probably actually gonna help Mikey with the trial. I figure she's probably gonna help with the forensic stuff. That seems like
Okay, that works.
a problem.
How about you, Blue?
I can go with Enya.
3 and 3, gotcha. Okay. We will focus first on probably the forensic stuff real quick. So most of that is going to involve, and actually that's something all of you can sort of help with a little. We have to build up the actual case file profile for this case, which means adding aspects and possibly coming up with stunts based on the lead detective, in this case, Detective De La Cruz. So let us quickly get into that, finish that, and then we can take a break and get to the looking for the harmonizers. So if you go to the folder for, I believe, yes, under either under Aqua or under the Stella Marie PD, you'll see that there's the case of the evil tongue. That is going to be the case file that's used in here. Oh, actually, you guys can't see it. So let me just go ahead. Yeah, it's right there. So it already has some things filled out here. You can see that the high concept, this Director Elfman is being likely charged with conspiracy, among other things, but it's like a massive like conspiracy, racketeering. Like he's going down for a lot of different things that are being rolled up under conspiracy. The trouble is that Director Elfman has a large amount of connections, and that's true. He can pull various favors from a lot of different sources, and he is your prime suspect, obviously. Now, for evidence, you have digital documents that you've taken from his servers, likely, I believe, physical files that you've taken from either directly from his office at the Nonstop Cabaret, or I think that's where you got. I'm pretty sure that's where you got them. And you have some video evidence of both him probably committing crimes directly, and you have the video evidence of Doribo on the beach as they were doing development of that beachfront property. Though whether or not that's related to this case doesn't seem initially clear. You still have that evidence. For witnesses, you probably have more than this. You have Rammstein's brain, which still kind of works. Maddie, and likely a few others. You have the woman whose dog he stole after the destruction. You have Ollie, the ugly dog boy. What other witnesses do you feel like you could call for this? Aletta? Yeah, you could
I was
call
just about
Aletta.
to say, yeah, I don't know how long she worked there, but that's where we met her, I think. So, and we technically know Joni. And they hang
Okay.
out, we think.
Yeah. Any other witnesses that you feel like you could throw in there? Let me know, or anyone that you feel that would maybe go in there. For the cost of 1 fate point, you can add a witness who could have seen something that he did. So, for example, we could generate a witness that like saw him.
Well, I was gonna say I don't know if all of them count, but I mean the Bottlenose Boys, because the Goon Squad showed up to do some hate criming on them, and that was our first initial fight with them in the first place. Like I said, it doesn't have to be all of them, but yeah, the park incident was a big deal. There was the burning of the trenches, so I feel like there's a lot of witnesses there, or at least, we could probably pull somebody from that. Oh, what's his name? Crap, we made him the NPC, the anemone.
Johnny Be Good.
Yeah, Johnny Be Good. That's it. Yeah, because he's the advocate for the trenches, and I feel like he didn't we make him like right after that?
Yeah,
as part of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Johnny Be Good. I'm trying to think of anybody else. I might think of them later.
The Prince and Sonny Fortuna will be called to the stand as well by the defense. And Dr. Rob Tom will be called to the stand.
Oh, fun! I assume as some sort of special witness to confirm the fact that Danny Elfman is in fact not just a merman but a crown, or.
Well, he's being called by the defense.
Oh, okay.
So now that we have those things settled, the next thing to do is to handle the roles here. So I would say in your time, you probably formed a nice amount of contacts. We'll put that at a 3. Your investigation has also been at a 3. And we can add in probably a fact finding or discernment kind of like a thing to kind of suss out lies. Fact check, that'll be at a 2. And finally, public sentiment, sort of. How do I put that in there like that? Let's call it for the people. So, Mikey, you are someone who did. This was an example I had of a stunt. I would say that because you're lead detective, they get a +2 on any investigate rolls that involve forensic evidence.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because Claudia is kind of here and helping you prep. I would say, Claudia, because you're like a community person, you likely can help to make sure that witnesses don't feel, or you can try to protect them from feeling intimidated. So, yeah, I'd say Claudia can help to keep people from getting squirrely and maybe like chickening out of, providing testimony.
All right.
Correct that. You're not an officer, you're Detective Cornell. And one more stunt, probably from your prosecutor. Is very hard about like pressing the facts of a case. So when she succeeds on a fact check against the defense, she gains a +2 as she starts to throw their entire case's credibility into question. So there you go. That's pretty
Okay.
much what that sheet looks like.
Okay. Yeah, because I feel like that works too. Because then you can really get the ball rolling. Because if it succeeds, then it gets a +2 boost, and then in theory, that will succeed, and then that's another boost. And you just keep building.
Alrighty, and I will fill out the sheet. Get the sheet cracking for Lee Roth, the defense attorney for Director Elfman. Let's get that cracking real quick. I will have to rename the prosecutors pool, but you can see under the prosecutors folder, there is a folder for Lee Roth. First of all, we know he's shibbity bopped, so. Actually, I could have sworn I had a sheet for him. Where is it?
Yeah, he's shibbity bop a doo wop. Oh baby.
Guess I don't. All right. Well, in that case, I'll just be making it from scratch, but that's okay. It's going to be done fairly quickly. He has, yes, shibbity bop. That's at a +3.
Naturally.
He has oh yeah as a +4. And he has a +2 sad plus lonely. He's gonna have some pretty good stunts though. So feel free to throw any ideas out there that you wish, but he is going against a pretty strong case, so he's gonna need to be a little buff himself.
I don't know exactly how to phrase it, but I mean, he could clearly use a bunch of literal and figurative nonsense to try and throw people off, like an ad hoc kind of argument.
Yes.
As a stunt, yeah.
His first stunt is shibbity bopped. If he rolls, when he gets a +2 to roll when questioning the details, and if he succeeds on causing a consequence, he will cause confusion.
I assume I ain't got nobody who's gonna use sad and lonely. That could be like a social. Oh, what's that?
So yeah, when he'll pretend to be a little bit weaker and just act like he's just a simple lawyer when he's using sad and lonely to defend his case and how he's being scrutinized.
Okay, yeah, because I was gonna say, yeah, he could have a sad and lonely based stunt that helps him garner favor with the jury and people, sympathy, like a social role.
Okay.
Because he's so sad and lonely. Why is everybody being so mean to him? My client did nothing wrong.
His last stunt is the killer. He can use his oh yeah roll to create the scene aspect courtroom out of order. And if he beats somebody with a shibbity bop roll while that scene aspect is present, they will be taken out.
Oh shit.
He throws the entire he will burn the court system to the ground.
It's the coup de grace, yeah. He's willing to turn it into a kangaroo court.
Right. As far as the scene aspects go, he's sleazy.
Yep.
His trouble is he's shameless to a fault.
To a fault. I don't know
Yeah.
why that's funny to me. That his trouble is that no matter what, he's gonna be shameless. Will he ever do anything in like light of a redemption arc? No. The epitome of I will stare God in the face and walk backwards to hell.
And finally, he's a Californian. A land of legend in times like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. North America's a shit show, man. So yeah, you got that trial all lined up. Detective De La Cruz, I will say that your prep work with Rust kind of helps to shore up any inconsistencies with the cataloging. It is rather important to make sure that things are accounted for. I'll say that you, Officer Cornell, are working with the witnesses list and kind of going back and forth, providing last minute checks and details to Lucia G. Wild, the prosecutor. And Ice Peak, you will likely be involved in the forensic process as well, just to make sure that no samples have been contaminated or stolen or anything. So let's go by those one by one. Give me an understanding roll against a passive difficulty of 3 there, Detective De La Cruz, to determine whether or not there were any, like, did you actually get anything? This is your triple check. Yeah. With a triple check like that, you do notice that there are some files which may be missing from the total, like, compendium of information, and you're able to direct Rust on, like, you know, what needs to go where, what information, you know, everything being in order. I'll say, yeah, more or less, it all looks like it's pretty. You're pretty much ready to fly here. Detective Cornell, give me a mom mode roll. I think.
Oh.
Same passive difficulty 3.
Let me pull this up.
Actually, you know what? Not the same passive difficulty. The passive difficulty on this is going to be a 6. So you can burn 2 fate points if you want, or you can just let it ride. But this is to ensure that all the witnesses are going to be there and that none of them have been fucked with. With a 3, you can determine. You want to spend your fate points?
Yes, I will spend both my fate points.
What do you invoke?
I will invoke Sunlight, and her profession, community outreach investigator.
Okay, so like, yeah, Sunlight, you're trying to drag some crimes into the light, as it were, and you are an experienced community outreach investigator. So you're probably, this isn't your first rodeo, I would think, right? With dealing with this sort of like corruption and kind of hashing out details, making sure people don't flee. With that role, you are able to, you get a bead that some of the witnesses involved, like the woman whose dog was stolen by Director Elfman, people have been like talking to her, pressing her, you know, parked outside her house, that sort of thing. With your assistance, you could either provide increased police detail until the trial happens, or get them to a safe house if you feel like that's necessary. But either way, you're able to accomplish kind of what's necessary to make sure that they are both safe and willing to testify. Sometimes if you would not roll that, you know, gotten above that difficulty, for example, you may have had to you know, may have had 1 or 2 runners or people just no showing. But your role will ensure that kind of everyone that's good for the prosecution, at least, will be there. The defense, you don't really need to check in on unless you really want to have a heart-to-heart with Mr. Fortuna or Mr. Rob Tom. I would assume you probably feel that they're going to go there. I mean, they are being called by the defense.
Yeah, I'm going to assume they're going to come right in, so I'm gonna focus on the one that I'm not sure of, the one that's being intimidated and things.
Right. I'll even give me a, just for funsies, give me a martial arts expert roll. No passive difficulty.
Okay.
Wow. You beat the shit out of 6 people that you caught either tailing some of the witnesses or attempting to intimidate them or go through their mail with your lightning fast what martial arts does Claudia practice? I forget.
It was Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, you jujitsu the shit out of these. You get them in chokeholds, rear naked, chokes, like you armbar them. You're like you're fucking them up real bad when they are attempting to creep and lurk on some of the witnesses in the trial. And you even do teach some of the witnesses, if you want, a little bit about self-defense, though they are just normal civilians and mostly human. They will like listen to your instructions. Purchase pepper spray if you recommend that they do that sort of thing. I mean, it's the future, so pepper spray is probably like, yeah, we have like whatever pepper lasers or some bullshit. But you managed to keep everyone safe and forearm them, so that I will give you a because you rolled so well, a +2 boost to the first roll involving contacts, so that these are people you've made sure are super secure for the trial.
Awesome.
All right. Lastly, Ice Peak. Ice Peak, you want to probably ensure that nothing's been compromised. So go ahead and give me a brain trust roll against the passive difficulty of, we'll say, 5. You did get like a lot of the corruption out of your department, but there's still a lot of procedures that are like questionable at times, especially involving this trial. Do you want to blow 2 fate points, or what do you want to do? Reroll, succeed with a consequence? It's up to you.
I'm gonna spend 1 point in reroll.
Okay. What do you invoke?
That I am a forensic pathologist, and I'm very OCD about it.
Right. Check and double check, triple check, comb through it.
No!
Wow.
All right.
How?
Cry.
The exact same.
Mm-hmm.
You have 2 fate points left. You can just pass it.
I have a whole yeah, I'll just pass it. When in doubt, I guess spend your fate points.
Mm-hmm.
I know humans are leeching parasites, so it'll probably mess up my stuff.
Okay.
And I'm also an unorthodox, eccentric doctor, so I probably keep things very particular.
Okay. Then what happens is you check and make sure that things are right. They are right. You put it away. You like go for a break, but you don't really go for a break. You just send out some of, we'll say, your eels wearing your coat and wait. And you leave like a couple eels behind, and you catch an officer fucking with some of the evidence. Now you can either turn him in right now, or you can just like let that one ride. You can correct whatever it is that he tampered with rather quickly. You saw exactly what he did. He tried to swap some files around, tried to contaminate a few things. You can either seek immediate, basically immediate punishment for this man, or you can keep an eye on him. What would you prefer?
I know the chief is likely compromised, so I would rearrange it and then leave a note with our lawyer, who I know is trustworthy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then that is what you will do. You have kept the evidence from being somewhat sabotaged on your end by being vigilant. The officer in question who performed or tried to tamper with it just seems like a regular run-of-the-mill beat cop. The fact that he had access to your trailer means that he probably had a key card that somebody gave to him which means that he probably has somebody higher up that is like interested in oh right. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure that there was enough that you would notice that it was messed with by the member of the Cure clan, O'Grave. You probably notice it's been tampered with in other ways, but not like none of it seems to be compromised. It just looks like somebody other than you has been handling some of the like mechanical forensic evidence that was left behind by soft cell members.
I don't know it's Claudia, so I pass this on as well.
Yes, okay. So yeah, it looks like somebody's been rifling through your stuff. And you do notice the strange scent of cloves around some of the evidence. Like clove cigarettes, like the type really gothy people seem to still like to smoke even now. And you know some very gothy people who would probably be very interested in this sort of thing.
Oh, do I know they're interested?
Oh yeah, Cure Clan are like, yeah, they deal with cybernetics and weird shit like this all the time.
Okay.
So you know it might have been the Cure Clan, but you don't know Claudia was involved.
No,
She's an innocent little angel.
I'm informing the lawyer that it might have been the Cure clan.
All right. Yeah, with all that though set up, your case is more or less like ready to roll. So what we'll do right now is take a quick break, 5 to 10, then we'll come back and deal with the harmonizers. I'm trying to track a guy down who may be able to put you in touch with the trickster god from hell. So be right back. All right, everyone back except for Mikey, I think, which is fine. Our two players here for checking out the harmonizers. You guys are here.
I am here.
Okay. You know generally where the harmonizers are. It's like central Stella Marie. They kind of occupy a very weird bohemian row of houses and buildings. Very colorful displays on any of them. Some of them are dedicated to certain deities, some more to all of them. And of course, whenever you come here, the music is always bumping. There's almost competing vibes from different corners. You'll have one that's got really nice, like laid back, kind of like club ambient music. You'll have another street corner where there are just people really doing whatever you might think of as like the furthest away from dance. They look like they're just thrashing around to like very, very loud industrial music. Still has a rhythm, but they're out there doing like the cyber goth dance kind of weirdness. And occasionally some of them do challenge one another to very brief dance battles and exchanges of ideas. But in general, you'll find that in this central row, where the harmonizers are, there it is always busy and extremely colorful. You will see many deities represented in street art, like graffiti of an astronaut with their helmet full of diamonds. You will see like a rabbit tag that's spray painted around, and a skull mask, Day of the Dead kind of like motif on certain darker parts of the central block, the central row. But if you're looking for heretical followers and believers, then you will probably need to go a little bit south of where they are.
Okay.
Which is when you start to find rows of where the music isn't very loud at first. But then on occasion, for example, you may hear what sounds like metal screeching against metal and people in very sharp leather outfits lined with blades or spikes, kind of like posing and moving very stiffly. They seem to be very much into the sort of body modification that you've seen from Cure Clan, except more aesthetic, I would say. You will also see men and women in black suits who don't seem to want to talk to anyone and instead are just kind of talking amongst themselves and then moving on quickly. You will see gamers in this section, but whatever games they're playing seem extremely like violent or is keeping them up at night because they look like they're sleep deprived. They will gather near like little net cafes and various stores, kind of looking pretty run down. But it doesn't seem at first pranksters hard to find. So how do you begin your search?
Well, we seem to be in the right neighborhood, so, you know what, Enya's gonna just approach one of those people wearing, like, just obviously dark, edgy, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just gonna try to interrupt them. Hey, I've got a question on a prankster egregore, if anyone knows anything about that.
The group that you're approaching, when they hear the word prankster, they roll their eyes, all of them at the same time. Really? You're looking for those people? They're obnoxious.
I just need to... I'm having a crisis of faith, and I just wanted to bounce an idea off them, I guess. Could you point me in the right direction, go find one of these people?
Further down south, I suppose you may find the beginnings of them. Silly string or confetti, that sort of thing. Don't be fooled. It's just an act. They want to look like clowns. They cause destruction wherever they go. Really a dreadful lot, those Jodasites. Just look around down south there. You'll see them in an arcade or sometimes around a music store. Their black and white clothing, they're a little bit difficult to miss. A bit jestery at times. Like goth clowns or something.
Oh, okay. Thank you, goth clowns, got it.
Can't miss them.
Appreciate your time.
They nod. One of them, the one who wasn't speaking to you, a woman in the back, does seem to stare at you for a little bit longer than the others. And then she starts whispering to the others, and they all listen in on what she's saying. They seem to be pointing at you and Blue.
Anya just... she's gonna shrug that off and just keep going.
All right.
Does Blue agree with that?
Yeah, Blue will kind of like look at them for a second and then follow Enya.
I think they're just not used to seeing, merfolk, that's all.
At the location where they pointed you towards, you first of all find a bunch of people weeping in the black and white clothing that you were told of, just crying. They are surrounding the outside of a place called More the Merry. It seems to be some kind of bar and arcade, although there's no music coming from the inside.
This looks like the place.
Yeah, fits the description.
Why is it so quiet? Well, at least it'll be easy to get attention. Is it just an arcade?
Yeah, it just seems to be some kind of like amusement establishment. Although nobody out there looks amused. There's like we'll say 2 or 3 people wearing the clothing that they told you there would be. Some of them are like just sitting down on the sidewalk, looking despondently at the ground. One of them is curled against the wall in a fetal position. None of them look physically injured. They just look like they have been devastated or something.
Hey, I'm looking for the party supply store. Kinda got sent this way. It's not very funny or cheery or jokey around here.
One of them, the one who's curled up against the wall. No more rooms for laughs anymore. So, like, just like, go home and, I don't know, be with your family or something. I'm gonna go to hell. He starts to cry again.
Damn. I don't have a family, so I'm just gonna continue to just be here looking for a... Look, do you know anything about a prankster, Egregori?
Yeah, you mean Jodeci, but that's... I don't know. I don't know anymore. I don't. He just gets up and starts dusting himself off. I just don't know. I don't. He just walks away. I don't know anymore. I don't know anymore. He's just loudly pronouncing that as he's just walking down the street, yelling at other harmonizers.
Enya looks like she wants to go after him, but she stops and looks around. Can anyone tell me what was wrong with them? What is it? What is there? What's going on? Is this Egregori okay?
The one who's sitting on the curb, looking despondent, points at the doorway to the more the merry. This guy in there just saying some real. I don't know. Man. I gotta think. Yeah, he's just. I don't know. He just stares at the ground. Seems like he's been. Seems like his mind's been broken or something. He's just not very responsive.
Uh, hmm. Enya's just gonna go in through the doors of the More the Merry.
As you step in through the doors, you hear a voice loudly proclaiming to a group, the main hall. A day of wrath is that day. A day of trouble and distress. A day of destruction and desolation. A day of darkness and gloom. A day of clouds and thick darkness. Brothers, sisters, the Egregor are no gods. There is but one, and he is promised to us the end of days. These false idols mean nothing. Believe in the good old-timey power of the Lord of your forefathers, the Lord of your kingdoms, the Lord of all kingdoms. I may be a simple pastor, but I still believe in the old God. There's a man standing amongst people that are just like beside themselves with grief. He is dressed as a pastor, holding a holy Bible under one arm and using the other hand to point towards the sky. I was once a prophet on the moon. Father John, they called me. Oh, but then they got their new gods and decided they didn't need the old God of the Bible. And I got the boot. Forgotten, just like the rest of you. The gods run and play amongst themselves in their celestial playground, supposed gods, I should say. Oh, and Jesus weeps. He weeps for all of you that have abandoned the faith and cling to that poison that the moon pours down on us in its rains. And make no mistake, it does rain down upon us. Second flood's coming, friends. Day of wrath is upon us. Who amongst you will continue to cling to this foolishness? And who amongst you will return to the faith of the Bible? I'll tell you this. Zephaniah 1:18. Neither their silver nor their gold will be able to deliver them on the day of the Lord's wrath, and all the earth will be devoured in the fire of his jealousy, for he will make a complete end, indeed, a terrifying one, of all the inhabitants of the earth.
Hey, excuse me.
He stops. More believers, hopefully. What can I do for you?
Sorry to interrupt, but I think you're being a bit disruptive. I don't think this is your crowd.
I don't know what you mean. I think that they are my people. I'm telling them the truth, evangelizing. Is there a law against that?
There isn't, but you seem to be distressing a lot of people here. I'm sure there's a community that would love to hear your message, whatever it is. Also, those egregori, they really exist.
Oh, I know they do. Just as the devil exists, so do they. Opposition to the true Lord, the Christ. Oh, that day is coming. But there can't be a return of the Messiah until the signs of Revelations are fulfilled. Don't you agree? Have you read the Bible?
I'm starting to think I should, but what do you mean? What Messiah?
Well, I'm talking about Jesus Christ, of course.
Okay, I'm gonna stop you there. I don't know. Look. I'm here for a prankster, a Grigori, someone named Jodeci. Do you know anything about that?
One of the names of the heretical idols that is worshipped in a house like this. His spirit has been cast out and replaced with the spirit of that which is to come. For before the Christ will appear, there will of course be his nemesis. And if we are to believe that the words of the Bible are true, then I must do all I can to usher in that age and his appearance. Oh, his unholiness. The Antichrist. He must make an appearance in order for my religion to be true, don't you think? Well, don't worry too much about it.
She holds up her hands. Look, I think that Antichrist, I've been hearing that word a lot, even from people that conform to whatever it is you believe in. That part you could probably check off. But if you can point me to the direction of this opposite person that's gonna be good, that would be helpful too.
Well, you can read all about it right here. He hands you a copy of the Bible. Go on. Give it a flip. All sorts of good wisdom in there. For example, behold, the day of the Lord is coming, cruel with fury and burning anger, to make the land a desolation, and he will exterminate its sinners from it. Isaiah 13:9. Flip through it. You'll see I'm right. I've got it memorized.
She's gonna hand the book to Blue to flip through. I can just ask you questions directly. You're right in front of me. You have it memorized, you said, right?
Well, that's correct. I have. What is it that I can do for you?
I need someone to help stop the Antichrist, actually. That's what I'm here for.
Stop? Why would I want to stop that? No, I want the Antichrist to appear. Didn't you listen to a word I said? Well, the Antichrist is a necessary component of the last days when we'll all be taken to heaven in a great rapture. If there's no Antichrist, there's no rapture. Think about it. Gotta have it. Gotta eat your vegetables before dessert's brought out.
I very much want to make a heaven here on Earth, and I'm not trying to be in a hurry to go to this heaven.
What a pity. Here I thought I found 3 true believers from the sea, but it seems that Avicii's acid has melted your souls down to rotten, crusty niblets of what could be called, in mocking passing, a spirit.
What do you mean by 3?
Well, there's you, Blue, and Towner.
Alright. Would you have any idea who this Antichrist is by any chance? Or are you just gonna preach about it?
Oh, I know his name and his face, and I know the time of his coming. I know that day is near, for I have helped speed it along. As the spiritual advisor to the Antichrist, I can help to direct him towards what needs to be done on the great day of revelation. I had no job or task and purpose before, being evicted from the moon and forgotten about. Oh, those wonderful humans that went on to claim to be gods. After I'd helped them with all their vampire problems, After I had tried to find solace in a lake that was a place of a false afterlife. Oh, they went along their merry way and left me with my broken faith until I found it again in the calling that came to me in the form of a door that appeared and summoned me as one of his disciples. Yes, I will help to usher this forth.
Enya's gonna elbow Blue and whisper, "This is exactly one of those humans I wish I could just put away."
I'm with you on that one.
Alright, well, could you stop distressing these people? They seem to be subscribed to a different faith than you, and it's a bit rude to just be in their community.
Well, how do you plan to stop me, officer? What do you plan to do to keep me from doing this preaching that I've been put on this earth to perform? You're not going to use violence against me, are you? Would hate that. Wouldn't be very godly.
Well, it's not like a complaint's been made, so suppose I can't do anything here, right?
You hear a splat outside. It's a body hitting the ground. One of them has just jumped out of a window.
Excuse me. She's gonna go check that out and look up.
He is just like barely responsive. He's very messed up. He jumped out of like a third story window, so he's not dead, but he is very messed up. Just jumped right out. Oh my, poor sad soul couldn't take it. Pity. Suicide's a sin, you know.
Enya's gonna
Oh,
Towner, call an ambulance.
Towner takes a comedically small phone out of his pocket to try to punch with his large Sharkman fingers. But he does make the call.
Enya's gonna, like, turn back around, but she looks really, like her patience is starting to get thin.
yeah, I was about to say Blue has been keeping cool until that comment. Now seems pretty pissed.
Don't tell me that the two of you are cross with me for some reason. No pun intended. Well, I didn't push that poor young man out of that window. He just couldn't deal with the fact that he was such a sad sinner, full of all sorts of different vile tendencies that God simply frowns upon.
Enya's gonna, like, put an arm out and push this guy back into the building, and she's gonna look over her shoulder. Is there anyone inside the building?
Yeah, there are people around, like inside. They're mostly like emotionally devastated from hearing this guy preaching to them.
She's gonna, like, keep pushing this guy until she finds, like, a corner. Like a dark, it's just some unoccupied corner.
Okay. Well, you've got him in a dark corner.
And she's gonna grab him by the collar and just, like, press him against the wall. And just, like, in a quiet voice, tell him, "You better stop. You're lucky that I am a cop, because otherwise I would be smearing you in a not so pretty place. Look, just leave."
Is that a threat, officer? You feel your hand begin to pull off of him and twist upwards. I wouldn't recommend making threats against a man of the Lord. Your arm actually begins to snap backwards and bend in an unnatural way, as if being pulled by something, and you begin to be pulled back away from him.
What the hell?
To be honest, I didn't think that Officer Stella Marie's police department would be so violent towards a man of the faith, but it seems in this godless territory of Guam, there are those who would lay hands and threaten a man like myself. Fortunately for you, it doesn't always work out that way. For I have the Lord's protection in the form of my stand. Pure comedy. You can feel now that there is what looks like a curled white arm around your arm, pulling it backwards. And whenever you try to resist, it just is meeting that force and doubling it. No matter what you do or try to make in an attempt to harm me, Pure comedy will protect me. No strength on this earth is mightier than the protections of the Lord, and I have one of his greatest angels on my shoulder. This weird black and white form that looks like almost a sketch drawing of a preacher with a pig for a head is just pulling your arm back by the fingertips. Your bones haven't broken or anything because you're very flexible. But what he's saying is true. This thing has an incredible amount of physical strength.
Alright, well, she's gonna use her free arm to, like, attack him. Because here we go.
I don't recommend it.
She's going for it.
Okay, give me a roll, just a simple power roll.
She's gonna take, well, her free arm and just try to, like, elbow him in the throat, I guess. If he's
So you take 4 points of physical stress because as you're trying to do that, it just pulls your arm back even harder and then does wrench it. Like now it's like basically about to be dislocated before you can even get towards him. He's like barely outside of strike range, but he is like basically controlling your arm.
yeah, she's gonna cry out then.
The more you try to strike me, the more pain you'll feel. It just comes down to something like that. Direct confrontation will not work here. You simply cannot harm a man of God such as myself. And I don't recommend firearms either unless you like tasting your own lead. Don't worry, I have no need to kill you or your friends. It's not in my interest. But if you attempt to stop me from evangelizing where I wish to, I will have no choice but to defend myself, lawman or otherwise. I work for a higher power than any badge could ever confer.
Okay, I'm listening. What is this higher power then?
Speaking, of course, of the Antichrist. That divine shadow which falls beneath the Christ's feet. And there have been many throughout history, don't get me wrong, just as many popes and saints have existed. But this one in particular is a very important one. We're at the edge of a new age. I can't just give it over to you Avicii-spawned devils. It must be in the hands of the children of God, or one of his many tribes. And I will continue to preach and ensure that everyone is under his divine protection. And if you should ever try to do physical harm to me, God will strike you down, child. He will smite you where you stand. You don't want to get smitten, smited, smoked.
What, She's gonna make another grab for him again, like, immediately.
You just get yanked back, like immediately. Once this thing has a hold on you, it's not letting you go.
Alright, ball's in your court. Now what?
It's simple. For once, officer, I'm going to let you off with a warning. Your hand is freed. Don't try to interfere with my duties again. Oh, it may end much worse than today. Instead, I recommend that you read that good book and decide to join me on the path of righteousness to ensuring that we all get to heaven. Well, When I say we, I do mean humanity, of course. I'm not sure what happens to all of you. I assume you return to the sea, maybe swallowed in the jaws of a great leviathan. Who knows? But I don't recommend trying to fight me. I don't recommend trying to fight the Antichrist, really. Why stop the inevitable? The Bible has it all written out clear as day. I'll be on my way, though. I think I've done enough preaching here, and it seems that I have effectively got my message through. Do any of you have any objection to me leaving and maybe finding more sheep to shepherd towards godly field?
Enya's just staring at him, unsure of what to do. She wants to stop him, but she can't physically do it, and there's nothing. If anything, she's the one that's acting illegally here, so.
Towner just punches at this guy, like just goes to swing a big haymaker for the face, and then gets clotheslined by that same stand. As he's about to make contact, it just knocks him back. He takes 2 stress. He rubs his nose, his shark nose, and he just swings again. And he takes 1 stress, gets knocked back, cracks his knuckle, grabs a piece of metal, starts chomping on it, starts to look like metallic veins are pulsing through him, rolls his shoulders, and then goes for a clash. So he goes to aura this guy with just a flurry of shark blows, and by the time it's all done and the dust is cleared, there is a Towner-shaped outline in the wall where he's been knocked through it, and Father John is just dusting his shoulders off. Your friend doesn't seem to really get it.
I think we both get it now.
Well, if there's nothing else, I'm sure there are plenty of people that I need to go and preach to. It seems that I might need to make a swing by your police precinct to see if there are any God-fearing people there who can account for some of this behavior. I'll see myself out. He stares at you, Blue. Will that be all?
I don't suppose she's going to currently try to use her stand or anything, seeing what just happened.
I mean, Enya's gonna make a surprise attack with his back turned to her.
Surprise attack? Sure. While he's like not looking, you go for a surprise attack. Go ahead and roll power.
Nah, she's not gonna like attack him though.
Okay. He doesn't react. He just stands there.
Actually, she stops because she realized she's just gonna jack herself up. Actually, so it looks like she's about to. There's like a looming, and then she relents. Damn it.
Father John waits a moment as if expecting violence, breathes out, looks at you, Blue, a little bit sideways, and then says, James 1:27. Religion that is pure and undefiled before God the Father is this: to visit orphans and widows in their affliction, to keep oneself unstained from the world. Well, Dankeschön and Das Vidanya, huh? And he like just walks past you. There was a pointed note on orphan.
Don't bother coming by the police station.
I go where God wills it. He kind of holds his arms up. Oh, wait. And he like reaches into his coat and puts down a few pamphlets on the table next to the doorway that just say the Antichrist in you. Take care now. And then he leaves.
Shit.
Your intervention at least kept him from further tormenting the people inside of there. But they are very, very troubled. The remaining harmonizers that are there, a lot of them are in tears and beside themselves. There is one who walks down the stairway and pulls off their headphones. It seems to be a young man with black and white striped hair and way too much eyeliner. Hey guys, what happened? I noticed Benny went out the window. Is that normal? That's not a door. Someone should tell Benny. He looks at everybody crying on the ground and the cops, a giant shark man shaped hole in the wall.
Yeah, and he's like fixing her arm.
Yeah, Enya with her broken arm and a rather mean looking detective lady. And he says, well, I don't got any drugs. So, and he starts running up the stairs.
Enya turns around and goes, wait, hold on.
Okay. Pinning this guy down is not hard. He's just a normal guy. Pretty young. Probably, we'll say 18-ish. He identifies himself as, what's a good name for this guy?
Look, do you know anything about Jodeci?
He's just covering his face. All right, well, yeah, a little, but like, don't hit me.
No, I won't. What do you know? How do I summon him?
Summon him?
What is he like?
Pranks? Jokes? Pretty good ones. Got to think of something original, and maybe he might notice, but he's a weird guy. Yeah, I just follow him because for the lols.
I thought this was some sort of heretical egregore that was shunned because he was evil or something. What do you mean he's just a joke man?
Oh, life's a joke, But again, don't hit me because I'm not interested in knowing the punchline. That's a joke. Don't hit me though.
No, you're very soft. You're fine.
Thank you. I try to maintain a very doughy physique. It makes me pitiable and sad. I had my headphones on, so I don't know why everyone down here is crying. And I don't know why Benny went out the window, but I do know that it ain't good.
Oh. You had your headphones on the whole time. You must have not been able to heard that guy. Interesting.
Yeah, I didn't want anyone to hear that I was listening to kids' cartoons because they'd know that I was not mature enough to be involved in the harmonizer way of life. So I had to hide that I'd still watch, some of my favorites. But if that got out, I'd be very embarrassed. So don't tell nobody. Oh, wait. He looks down and notices that there are people well within listening range. Now they know.
Never mind that. What else is there to know about Jodeci? What kind of egregore friends does he have?
Well, he's friends with the others, some of them. But he's also, not well liked by most. He was a chaotic kind of guy. He tried to destroy heaven, sort of. And he liked to play a lot of pranks. But he's the reason why everybody got to do the thing that they did. So in a way, he's like the coolest one, I think.
What do you mean, do everything?
Well, if it wasn't for him and the sacrifice that he made, the other egregore wouldn't have been able to survive or stop the oncoming, I don't know what it was called, the heat death of the universe or something. I don't know. I don't know what that means.
So without Jodeci, a lot of the egregore wouldn't be in existence?
Yeah, it seems like it. Or any of them, for that matter, except for Carolina, the original. I don't know. I haven't really studied up much on it because talking to the other harmonizers, they're like, "Ah, look at you. You're a Jodasite, and now we're going to beat you up a little." So I'm not very tough. I'm not very tough.
So, is the main reason he's disrespected because he's a joking, just a silly person?
Are you familiar with the term save scumming?
No.
Right. Well, in video games, sometimes you can set a save point and then you can go back and do it over if you mess up. And some people really abuse this by just say doing a bunch of different saves and then repeating back to them, right?
Okay.
It's considered scummy. Save scumming. Well, his ability was kind of like that, according to what the prophets say in various scriptures, if you can find them written on the back of a hamburger wrapper or whatever. But in general, he was kind of a scumbag. So the others say. I think he probably had his reasons, and if we all had a do-over button, we'd probably hit it more than once.
Were all the Egregori stand users originally?
Oh, you didn't know? That's right, they were. Some people think that having a stand is the first step towards divinity.
So, this Jodeci guy... Wait, so what other Egregori know about him or got along with him?
Well, some of the Neonites sometimes are okay with it. And the Utuians, they're okay guys, but they mostly get along with everyone. But the other guys don't really like him.
I see.
The Germanatans seem to think that he's obnoxious and don't go near any of the, those guys that are into the whole ELO thing. Or they hate him. Really, they do not like Jodeci one bit. I'm cool with them. Just because they're nerds and their stuff's easy to break doesn't mean we can't be friends.
Their stuff is... Okay, so this is like a Havoc thing.
Oh, Havoc. You say Havoc, I say fun.
Fun?
That's right. That's what the quote says, right? Cry fun and let loose the dogs of joy.
Enya looks unsure of things right now. So, Arch-Sheriff Alkesha seems to think that something about Jodeci's gonna help. But if he's just some sort of save point jokester who's not very well liked, I'm not really getting it.
Well, I can put it like this, I guess. Because of his ability, and because of the fact that he can just pretty much go around without having anybody really know him in any part of the pantheon except the heretical gods, he may be one of the most hands-on. I don't know. Couldn't say. Just saying. Direct divine intervention could be possible if you were to be a true believer.
Do you consider yourself a true believer?
Well, I'm more of a neophyte. But I'm sure if I could convert you to following Jodeci and committing all sorts of acts of merriment within his name, and also, trumpeting that he is a great and powerful God, and also that he maybe that I'm really. Could you include that I'm really cool? That would be so cool. Okay, yeah. Tell him that I'm cool. Jodeci's cool, and pranks are hilarious.
So you're telling me I just have to believe in him and do some sort of praising to him and his name?
That's right. You just got to pull off an impressive prank, and then maybe he'll pay attention. But he's really, well, flaky.
Impressive prank. Okay. Hey, Blue.
Yeah?
Got any ideas for an impressive prank? You know, the courtroom's pretty serious.
It's true. What kind of prank?
Impressive. Something that would impress a god of jokes.
A
But not
biblical
whoopee
proportion.
at the judge's seat or anything like that.
Well, you don't gotta decide right now. All you gotta do is just come up with the prank. And kiss me a little on the lips.
I don't think that last
Huh?
part is part of the requirements. The summon judges.
He flips through his notes. Nope, says right here, and he turns the page towards you. Says kiss Chibo on the lips.
Can Lily be on board? Like an
Oh, you want to have Lily with you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can have Lily.
She's just gonna put Lily in the way.
Like, you're gonna make him kiss Lily?
Yeah.
He's gonna kiss... Yes, he's going to kiss Lily, his lips are pretty much as big as Lily's whole head. So it's like for him kissing a battery. In fact, he gets a little shock from it. Ah! Oh! He gets up to his feet and, like, just squats down a little and points at Lily. Oh, nice one! Lily is, like, pointing at him with one of her claw hands and then, like, pops out a small needle and starts stabbing it in the air towards him.
I mean, someone needs to kiss on that little one. It's not gonna be me.
Hey, where did you get that? He's, like, eyeing Lily as he, like, kind of walks around you. Ooh. That looks like moon tech. Where'd you get that?
She was a bit of a... She's just a lost little one, that's all.
As this guy is circling, Lily is turning at the waist with the needle pointed out towards him. You get the feeling this might be Lily's only line of defense, is this little needle. It's very tiny. Practically good for sewing clothes, not so much for killing people.
Yeah, she's just gonna snatch Lily back up and put her on her shoulder again. Alright, well, we got pretty good info there. Thank you. We'll try to come up with a really, really good prank.
Sure, no problem. If you ever need to look around for me again, my name's Chibo. And since Benny jumped out the window, that makes me Chief Harmonizer of the Jodasites. Because he's going to be in the hospital. So I'm the new guy. You can call me the Pope if you want. Pope Chibo. Ooh, that sounds great. Pope Chibo the First.
She takes out her Uzik and types in Pope Chibo. And then goes, alright, what's your number?
Oh, 555-55-555-555.
I'm gonna pretend that's your real number and
It is.
we'll be in touch if I need you again, I hope.
It really is my number. He shrugs. Try calling it. You'll see.
She does press it. Looking at him.
You get a message. He turns away a little, and then you get a message that says, "The number you have dialed is not valid." But he's also hiding his mouth over, like, he's hiding his hand over his mouth and the phone. It's clearly him saying it.
Amazing. If I didn't see it with my own eyes, I'd, fall for it. Pretty good.
Okay. Good. I'm glad that you guys came to see me, and then, now I gotta... He looks down at the other harmonizers that are all, like, in a mess. I gotta talk these guys into doing a party or cheer-up session or something. I don't know. Or maybe I'll just sell all their stuff and buy some candy.
Yeah, you guys are gonna have to work yourselves out. She's gonna go get Towner if he's still like out there. Just dust him off and shit.
Towner is resting comfortably in a crushed mailbox.
He's pretty strong, huh?
The hell was that? I hated it. I hated every second. I want to crush his dumb head. He's an idiot.
I know. We'll have to just fight another day. I can't believe we came here for something to use against the Antichrist and just come across yet another way he could be further. Let's just get back to the station.
All right. Going back to the station, you will find the rest of the Aqua unit pretty much ready to roll with the case. If there's anything that you guys need to go over with one another before the trial, which is tomorrow, the pre-trial, I should say, now would be the time. Otherwise, we will roll right into it. I'm sure you probably want to tell them about the, weird, crazy pastor who believes in the Antichrist. But, that information can be shared off camera, however you prefer it.
What does the flyer say? Did they pick one up?
Yeah, did you pick up one of the flyers?
Yeah, and you snatched it on her way out. Why not? She's just gonna put it on the white. I assume we have like a board in our office.
Oh, sure. You want to see what the what it says?
Yeah.
Okay, it says the following. Friends, there's a time approaching. A great and troubling time. All of your tears and troubles all seem to flow endlessly like the oceans that have spawned those abominations that once attacked the shores and now claim to be our friends. Well, maybe they're right. Maybe they are our friends. For they have shown us this world is godless and forsaken, save for the love of Jesus. Oh, it is not he who has forsaken us, but us who has forsaken him. We have turned away from his grace and glory so that we can embrace such decadent and vapid lifestyles. Consumerism, friends. I'm talking about corporate power, and it's all over the place, permeating every single facet and pore of life itself. These are the times, then, that we can count on the Antichrist appearing. I am telling you this first and foremost. We should be glad for his appearance. We should be glad for the confirmation that we have that this life is empty, and it is worthy of the wrath of the Lord, something to be destroyed, so that new, fertile plants may grow. Plants of faith, watered with the blood of Jesus Christ. And, sadly, some of his believers. Yes, there may come a time when you are called on to be martyred. There may come a time when your name will be wrought into the stars, canonized, and you will be beautified in memory of what you have done for the faith. That is why I say, fight for as long as you can. Struggle and cry for as long as you can. Make good of the gifts that the God has given you. And accept the Antichrist. Accept his inevitability. That is where faith truly lies.
Alright, team. As you know, we went to go looking to speak to a Jodeci harmonizer. we ended up coming across someone that is likely gonna join the Antichrist and further empower him. So, if you happen to come across a Father John Misty, he's full of evil and he has a stand. He kicked Towner and my ass. Not really sure if attacking him physically is gonna do much. Seems like he causes depression wherever he preaches. One of the harmonizers happened to have headphones on and seemed to be okay, though. So, that was our day.
Yeah, and he gave me his Bible. By the way, if I look in the Bible, is there anything different or interesting about
You mean
it?
if you open it up?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a Bible. The letters are a little runny. A little smeary.
Looks like the words in here are a bit smeared.
Yeah, they're still leaking, smearing. Running red. The Bible is bleeding.
Oh,
Please do
guys,
not let
it's bleeding.
do not let it leak on the evidence.
Oh yeah, Mikey's gonna grab like a little evidence cup and just slide it under the Bible to catch.
Maybe we should put it in an evidence bag or something.
Yeah.
He'll hand you a large one in case we don't know how much volume I guess is gonna happen in terms of blood, so he'll just hand you the largest one he can.
Yeah, put it in there.
It seems he gave you a to-go box.
Haha.
Are you still reading it?
I think I closed it and put it in the bag so I don't
Okay.
cause a mess.
The blood is slowly starting to fill up the bag.
I think we need to get rid of that. And he's gonna throw it in the microwave and just like get it going, running.
Okay. It starts
I
to.
was gonna say I don't think it should work. I think we took it apart so that Diver could sleep in it.
We got a
This
new
is-
one, dude.
This is a new microwave that we're
Okay, this is a
using.
new
Yeah.
one.
We still need to eat lunch.
The Bible immediately ignites into flames, and you can hear quiet screams as it just burns inside. The wails of the damned are issued forth from the microwave as the fire begins to breach through the top of it and through the back of it, through the vents, quietly roaring and quietly screaming, and the Bible quietly spinning within.
And he's gonna unplug the microwave and then just start stomping on it.
The microwave still runs while you have it unplugged. Stomping it just results in louder screams until it's nothing but smoky, mushy debris.
Can I just take it out, just throw it in the river?
I mean, the river's a bit of a walk from where you are. But sure, if you want to walk to the river and throw it in, go ahead.
I will do that if no one objects.
Okay, we'll say it's not a long walk to like maybe a stream that leads to the river.
Wait, where are you taking that?
I'm throwing this thing in a stream.
Wait, no, that'll probably pollute the stream. Discuss.
Is it all burned?
I mean, it's like half burned, it's bloody, it's mushy, it's stomped.
Okay, then I'm just gonna take it to the nearest inferno.
Inferno?
Perhaps
Incinerator, you mean?
yeah, incinerator.
should
Okay.
one of you perhaps combat it with faith? That seems to be.
Faith?
Can Mikey start working to identify if the blood belongs to anyone?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Oh, I was gonna say, can Mikey start working to identify the blood and see if it is anyone in particulars?
Yeah, if you go to identify the blood that is within the Bible, if you're running a chemical analysis, you'll see that it is actually goat's blood.
Oh, cool.
I mean, it's not. I guess good news is it isn't people blood.
That is good news. Then it is even more edible.
Yeah, it's a goat. Well, I mean, obviously, that much. It's gotta be more than that.
But it is also screaming.
Yeah, the screaming, that's gotta be people. Or I think. I don't know how that any of this works really.
We have an incinerator to throw this thing in?
We probably do have a place to burn bodies. But I speak will take it from you and open it.
Okay. You're opening it
Yeah.
to do what? I'm sorry.
Just like, is the words actually saying anything inside?
Yeah, it does.
What does it say?
It says the following. For yea, I have seen them slaughtered all, their tribe and village decimated, for it was the will of the Lord that it be that way. For they did not believe, for they did not act. And on Russian shores their bodies floated and drifted, carried away by waves. Icy and cold forever and ever, their spirits still remain, chained there by their slaughter, so saith God.
I take my finger, rub it over the part that says Russian, lick my finger, and throw the book into the body incinerator.
As it gets thrown in and burns, you hear mad, maniacal laughter, then screams, then prayers, people screaming for God to save them, and then silence, as it finally just burns into nothing but ash.
I Speak seems very, far away. Like she's experiencing someplace else.
Yeah, it's been a long day.
I speak. Once you turn away, or I would assume you maybe look away from the incinerator, either reflexively or you're just turning around, you hear the door fly open.
Look.
Yes, a blackened figure has crawled out of the incinerator and just rushes upon you, tackles you to the ground, and with flakes of burning skin and blood peeling off of it, this thing is screaming into your face, drool going down from its unhinging jaw, and its eyes, which bleed tears, roll back into their head. This thing screams into your face, pins you to the ground. It's just screaming and roaring as loud as you've ever heard anything. You're standing there for a moment, dazed. Your friends might have seen you just standing there, maybe in contemplation, but when you snap to it, that didn't happen. You're fine.
She has 1,000 long stare. And she pats herself over. Yes, that was quite cursed.
Are you okay? You good? I know that probably, I feel like I know the answer already, but it feels polite to ask.
Did
She
I? Good.
she turns her head to look at Mikey, but in the way where like her head shouldn't turn that far around. It says,
Yeah, no bones. Just
"No, I am not okay, but I will manage for trial."
Oh, okay. You don't. Okay.
I think I am haunted.
Oh boy. Great. Great. That doesn't sound at all bad. Seeing as we know, you know, people who deal exclusively in curses and probably ghosts and hauntings and all other kinds of stuff.
It is fine. I have always been haunted.
Why don't you ask your boyfriend for curse removal service?
She just winces. Although it was fun to pretend on date, I am not girlfriend to the Antichrist. He is not. She trails off. I do not know what form is considered living. He is from another world. So are we? I am not to judge. But I know a parasite when I see one.
Parasite? You don't see a man at all?
When I look at you, I do not see woman.
Oh, why not?
Because I have seen your other form.
Hey.
You are a very powerful sea dragon, and calling you mere woman would be a insult.
Why can't I just be both?
You may be whatever you wish. It's whatever form you take.
Well, maybe Sonny wants to be seen as a man as well.
But I think he wishes to reclaim what he has lost.
What he thinks he needs to reclaim. I think he can be talked to, still.
I am glad you have more faith than me.
Look, before I forget, we ended up meeting a Pope Chibo, a harmonizer of Jodeci. He said if we could come up with some sort of elaborate prank, it might get Jodeci's attention.
Wait, so you made prank? Who are we prank?
Anyone. A
So
big prank.
So we prank the Antichrist? Is that what I'm hearing?
Actually, that might be pretty good thinking.
We could prank the Antichrist or even the Prince.
My God, I would love nothing more than to see you prank the Antichrist. Please, I beg of you. How do I make this happen?
Well, we have to make it happen somehow. Any ideas? We could say we're throwing him a party. That's a pretty classic prank stage.
Yeah, but that's a little too classic. You know, you gotta. Let's see. Why don't you? Let
An
me think.
award ceremony.
That might be mean though. Like,
Well, what
why
could
not?
maybe make him laugh?
Well, let's see.
I know very few prank. What is?
Perhaps a theater stage.
She'll point at Anya's shirt and say, "What is on shirt?"
She's just wearing a cop shirt, like a.
Yeah, but does she look down at it?
Anya slowly looks down, but she doesn't break eye contact with Ice immediately.
ISP clicks her nose.
Anya pretends to be surprised. Oh man, you got me.
All right, we'll do that on during court.
You know we are trying to keep Danny from getting free again, right?
Yeah,
I know,
that's not like
sure,
that.
we can, I guess, do fun pranks, but also if we lose, he probably walks, and
Yeah.
there's now a target on us.
As much fun as it might be to do a prank during court, I feel like the judge would kill us all. So let's not do that.
No pity.
Speaking of the judge, as we wrap up tonight's session, there is a man somewhere in Stella Maris in a hidden location who is putting on a black hood and full black bodysuit with armor, meditating before a plaque that reads just judge, jury, executioner. He's staring at it in preparation for something to come. And somewhere below him, deep in a basement amphitheater, is something like a courtroom. Dark, cold, completely choked with shadow. The shadow court awaits. And that will be where we will call it. So I was hoping we get to it this session, but I think,
We'll open up with it next time.
Yeah, we will open up with it next
We'll
time.
go to court someday.
God, no, I keep delaying it. No, we can't, please.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah, it's the Dragon Ball Z rules. We keep getting closer and closer to it, which means it will also stretch farther and farther out.
Yeah, exactly. Next time.
We'll be 5 minutes from the court, and then have to do a whole side mission.
A whole
Yes.
episode on the
And then
stairs
we
of
get
the
back
court.
in, it'll be 3 minutes till.
Yes, it'll be like a whole side mission because one of the judges' dog is just completely lost.